Hi everybody, welcome to Living Traditions Homestead. My name is Sarah. Today I'm in the kitchen because I am in the mood to make some granola. Now in our house we don't buy breakfast cereal. I very rarely buy any kind of snacks like crackers, those kinds of things. So granola is perfect for many things. In our house it's perfect for breakfast, but a lot of times we eat it as a snack, especially on the go. Tomorrow we are taking a day trip with our family just to be away from the homestead during the day. We aren't going to have time to have breakfast in the morning, and I really would rather have some healthy snacks on our trip rather than either stopping at a gas station to get some snacks or a drive-through for breakfast. So I want to take something along, homemade, full of organic, nutritious ingredients. And so I figured I might as well bring you guys along today and share with you one of my very, very favorite granola recipes. This recipe is so versatile. You can pretty much throw anything in there that you like, that you think is tasty. It also uses a lot of the ingredients that I buy through Azure Standard. Azure Standard is an online buying group that allows you to buy in bulk a lot of organic ingredients. Now I buy quite a bit of our staple ingredients, things that we can't grow on the homestead. I buy through Azure Standard because it's getting harder and harder for me to find organic ingredients in our little town nearby, and anything that is a bigger city is really about an hour away or more for us, and that's just not something that I want to do very often. So Azure Standard has been a very good opportunity for me to get organic ingredients. You order once a month and then they deliver to a meeting point within the community where everybody who buys through Azure Standard in this area, they get together and all pick up their stuff once a month. So I really enjoy that. So I'm looking forward to talking with you about some of the ingredients that I buy through them today as I go through the ingredients in this recipe. Okay, let me just quickly go over with you the ingredients that we're going to be using today. The majority of granola is rolled oats or old-fashioned oats, and we buy that in 50-pound bags. So I have a bucket of it here, so we're going to be using a lot of that. Okay. After that, there's just a lot of mix-ins. This recipe calls for 2 cups of nuts, but it could be a combination of seeds and nuts and that kind of thing. I'm going to be using peanuts today, organic peanuts, and raw sunflower seeds that are organic. I get both of these also from Azure Standard. You can get them in various quantities. At the end, I'm going to be mixing in home dehydrated banana chips and home dehydrated apple chips. We're going to be using organic coconut oil, and I get these in a gallon container from Azure Standard. We're going to be using organic brown sugar. Now, I can't find brown sugar on Azure Standard, and our local Walmart doesn't carry the organic. But Walmart.com does carry organic brown sugar, and so I order it to be sent here to the house, along with a couple other things that I can't find in the store, or that I can find cheaper on Walmart.com, cheaper than Azure Standard. We're going to be using Ceylon cinnamon, which I order from Azure Standard, but I just use a shaker bottle an old one that I had. And we're going to be using honey. Now someday I hope that we have lots of our own honey, but for now we are buying it. This honey is actually from our friends Ben and Andrea from VW Family Farm. We're super excited to have some of their honey. They have a YouTube channel, check them out. They're good friends of ours. And lastly is salt. We're going to be using pink Himalayan salt. I buy that 10 pounds at a time from Azure Standard as well. If you're interested in looking into bulk buying from Azure Standard, I will put a link in the description of this video so you can check them out. Okay, let's get started. Like I said earlier, the bulk of this recipe is rolled oats or old-fashioned oats. And we need 12 cups of them. You know, one thing I didn't say is where I get these buckets. Walmart sells food grade buckets in their hardware section, so that's where we get these, and the lids. So 12 cups. Next up are the nuts and the seeds. Like I said before, a total of 2 cups. Now the peanuts that I have are already roasted. Because we're gonna be putting this into the oven, I'm gonna wait until we're all done to add these so that they don't get burnt. But the sunflower seeds are raw, so to have them in the oven for a while to toast them, that will make them taste really good. So I am going to add 1 cup of raw organic sunflower seeds. And I'm gonna wait for the other cup, use peanuts that I'm gonna chop up, but like I said, I'll put them in at the end so they don't burn. We're gonna add 1/2 cup of brown sugar, packed brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna mix that all together. In a separate bowl, we're gonna combine our oil and the honey. I'm using coconut oil here, and it is still pretty warm, so it might be liquid enough to just mix these together, but I might have to put it in the microwave just to melt it a little bit. That's why I'm using a glass bowl. So 1 cup of coconut oil. It's not quite liquidy enough, so I'm gonna have to melt it. There we go. That is all melted. And so I'm gonna add in our honey. We're gonna be using 2/3 of a cup of honey. I'm using a 1/3 cup, so I'll use that twice, but I did rub a little bit of oil inside this measuring cup so that the honey comes out better. Wow. This is amazing honey. Now we're gonna whisk the oil and the honey together until it's combined. Takes a little bit of time, a little bit of work, but when it's all combined, then we'll add it to our dry mixture. In the meantime, I have the oven preheating at 350 degrees. I think we're all set to add that to our dry mixture. Now this is very simple. Anybody can do this. I know you can do it at home too. So we're just gonna pour this right over our dry mixture. Getting all of that good stuff out of the bowl. And we're gonna mix it in. We're gonna mix it until we can tell that everything is lightly coated with the oil and the honey mixture. Just takes time. Now that this is all mixed in, we need to transfer it to a couple of baking sheets. So I got out 2 baking pans and I greased both of them with some coconut oil just to make sure that the granola doesn't stick to the pan. And I'm going to divide what I have here in this bowl into the 2 baking pans, and we're gonna put them in the oven. If you want to do these in 2 9x13 or 9x15, whichever the measurement is of those cake pans, that would work really well too, because through the baking process, we're gonna take these out and stir them once in a while. And sometimes when you're flipping it around, a lot of it can fall out. So one of those baking pans would work well too. So we're just gonna spread this out evenly. And we're gonna put these in the oven. total time that we're going to be baking will be about 30 minutes or until all of this is golden brown. But we don't want them to burn, so about every 5 minutes we're going to take both of them out, stir them up, and put them back in. In the meantime, we're going to get the other ingredients ready. Now remember, we're putting peanuts in there that have already been roasted. I'm going to add 1 cup of the roasted peanuts to my cutting board, and I'm just going to chop them up just so they're not so big. I could use a food processor, but I actually really don't mind doing all of this chopping. When I was a little girl, my mom loved to bake. And I did a lot of baking with her. I did cooking with her as well. And when I was growing up, one of my responsibilities in the kitchen with her was to chop up vegetables or chop up the nuts for our baking. So I still really enjoy that. And it brings back good memories. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm just going to put these in a bowl so they can wait until the granola is ready. But also, I need to cut up some of the banana chips, dehydrated banana chips, and the dehydrated apples. Now, I like to dehydrate bananas at home because our family really doesn't like the dried bananas that you can get from the store. They're not dehydrated from the store, they're actually fried in oil. And I would rather have something that doesn't have all that oil in it. And I actually don't think that they even really taste very good. So I'd like to have 1 cup of the banana chips, but I'm going to cut them up a little bit so they're smaller pieces. They've gotten pretty crunchy from the dehydrator. I think that's a good amount. I think it's about 1 cup. Now for the apples. I think the combination of the taste of the peanuts and the apples and the bananas will be really good in the granola. We like peanut butter with bananas and we like peanut butter with apples here on our homestead, so it'll be a perfect combination, all of them together in the granola. There, the apples are done too. Now we just need to wait for the granola to be done. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes, and every 5 minutes I've taken both of the pans out, stirred everything around, and put it back in there, but I think now they're golden brown and done. I think they look fantastic. I'm going to stir them around just to make sure. Oh yeah, they're nice and golden brown. It smells amazing with that brown sugar and honey and cinnamon. This is going to make a fantastic breakfast and a snack for our family. While it's still warm, I'm going to sprinkle some of these toppings on. That way I can mix it in on these pans and it can cool all together. There's about 1.5 cups in each pan. Mix these in. This will be just perfect. Well, they turned out perfect. I'm so excited to have these along with us on our trip, and all the leftovers can be used for breakfast and snacks for the girls on the school days. Once the granola is cooled down and completely room temperature, then we're going to store it. I love to store things in mason jars, and these will be perfect inside of a 1/2 gallon mason jar with a wide mouth lid. Just keep it really tight and store it in your cupboard. It's going to last a long time if everybody doesn't eat it right away. You guys, I hope that you try this If you have any other ideas for added in ingredients that would make this recipe super yummy, make sure you add it to the comment section below so that I can have new ideas and everybody who watches can have new ideas. Make sure you try this. If you're enjoying our videos and you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. And the best way that you can help us here on the Homestead is to share our channel and share our videos with other people who you think would enjoy it. And until next time, thank you so much for stopping by the Homestead. Take care and God bless.